Matthews circles in front, shoots, scores! Auston Matthews takes the pass from Williams.
Before Auston Matthews won 2 gold medals after repping Team USA in the World Hockey Challenge.
Auston Matthews picked the top corner and buries it.
Before Auston Matthews had amassed a social media following with 162,000 followers on Twitter and another 500,000 on Instagram at the time of this recording. Okay, he's not at 500,000, but he's close. Before Auston Matthews was a top prospect of the 2016 NHL entry draft and was chosen first overall by the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Works in with a pass to Matthews, he scores!
It's safe to say that Auston Matthews is an absolute beauty, carrying my home team of Toronto on his back since he was drafted first overall in 2016. Now, he's certainly proven himself as a worthy threat on the hockey rink, but when his name first began to pick up a buzz, people were a little dumbfounded. I mean, not only is he from Arizona, he's also part Mexican, and the first sport he ever played, well, it was baseball. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of Auston Matthews prior to fame, here for you, of course, before they're famous. Now, this video might seem like it's coming out of left field, but my nephew Aiden McCrudden, well, he's been begging me to make this video for a long time. He wants me to make a lot of NHL player before they're famous videos. In fact, Connor McDavid, we gotta do that one as well. Anyways, this is something we're trying here because, you know, we do a lot of rap, and hockey and rap, well, they're like chalk and cheese. But we're gonna see how this goes. Let me know who's next in the comments down below. We have an entire playlist dedicated to athletes. But for now, let's get into Auston Matthews. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom!
Los Angeles coming back. This is Matthews. Matthews with the shot. They score!
Auston Matthews was born on September 17th, 1997 in San Ramon, California, to parents Brian and Emma. While Brian is a native of California, Auston's mother Emma, well, she originates from Hermosillo, and this is in Mexico. So I apologize if I said that wrong. I should have tried to roll my R's. There was no R's. Let's just move on. Now, the middle child of 3, Auston has a sister, Alexandria, who is 3 years older, as well as Brianna, who is 5 years younger.
We maybe didn't give him the ideal environment, but he's made the most of what we were able to give him.
Auston came from a very athletic family. His great-grandfather was a football coach at Muskogee Central High School, that's in Oklahoma, and his grandfather, Bobby Matthews, he dabbled in football, basketball, and track. Bobby's brother, Wesley, he got serious with football, and he played as a wide receiver at Northeastern State University. He even played a season with the Miami Dolphins. Now, his father, Brian, worked for a manufacturing company, and when Auston was just 2 months old, well, the Matthews family relocated to good old Scottsdale, Arizona. That's a suburb outside of Phoenix. It's also where the crazy lady Amy's Baking Company, you know, the chick I met on Dr. Phil, she lives there as well. The family relocated there because Brian's brother, well, Billy, he lived there, and they decided to settle down. Auston's uncle held season tickets to the Phoenix Coyotes, who at the time had just arrived to Arizona from Winnipeg. Now, through this connection, Auston attended his first game when he was just 2 years old. While he didn't fall in love with the game right from the start, he seemed to be fascinated by both the Zamboni machine and, well, the controlled devices that would draw prizes over the fans. Who can blame him? Now, unfortunately, his uncle Billy passed away from cystic fibrosis not long after, and well, he didn't get to see his nephew take off in the rink. In honor of his uncle and now in a position to give back, well, Auston does work with the Toronto Sick Kids Hospital, spending time with kids who suffer from this disease. He's also a strong advocate for cystic fibrosis research.
Anytime you can come out here and make a kid's day, put a smile on their face, it's probably the best feeling you can really get.
Auston began playing at 5 years old on the Arizona Bobcats minor hockey program, and Auston's passion for the Coyotes, it grew so deep that he came to idolize the team's players, including Shane Doan and Daniel Briere. When he was 8 years old, he watched the historic game between the Coyotes and Washington Capitals at Glendale Arena, where Alex Ovechkin shot what would become known as the goal. It's like famous. It's the goal, people. You guys know it.
Ovechkin storming in. Alexander Ovechkin curl and drag to the back end. He scores!
During the game, Alex got past Brian Boucher and he scored a game-winning goal while rolling on his back. Now this move, it left Auston as well as the rest of the stadium with their jaws dropped to the floor. Now since Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the United States, the Coyotes were able to prosper. But the truth was that hockey was not a popular pastime in the city. If you were a young kid in Arizona who wanted to play, all you needed to do was show up at the tryouts and they'd put you on the team. Now Auston described a trip to Boston where a cab driver was making small talk, and he had this to say to him and his dad.
You know, he asked us, where we're from, what we're here for, and we're like, oh, we're here for a hockey tournament. We're from Arizona, and he asked us, you guys got hockey down there.
Now Auston was one of the few kids in Arizona who actually showed an interest in playing the sport. However, the sport at first, it didn't connect with him. Believe it or not, his father, he actually signed him up for baseball first. Now, Brian stated that his son was actually quite skilled at the game. He apparently had amazing hand-eye coordination, a gift that would undoubtedly help him upon his entry into the hockey rink. Now, the slow pace of baseball just wasn't enough to keep the young athlete interested, and as a result, he focused more of his time on his hockey. Auston would practice at a local arena where he would hone his skills in several different positions. He soon became known as one of the team's most well-rounded players. While Auston, for the most part, got along with his teammates, he stood out because of his Mexican heritage. As a kid, the family gave him the nickname Poppy, which they would refer to him, well, for quite some time. Now one day when Auston's parents showed up for a game, they couldn't find their son anywhere. Brian, he turned to the team and he asked if they knew where Auston was. Becoming concerned, he asked a couple more times, and one young player raised his hand and asked who Auston was. It was then Brian said he realized that his whole team knew him as Poppy. Now my first thought would have been that this son's not actually playing hockey. He's smoking weed with the burnouts. But, Brian found Auston. Auston's a good kid. That was more like what I was doing. They didn't call me Poppy, they called me Big Poppy. Let's get back to the story. When they found him, he was playing on the rink. And Auston, well, he's spoken about his Mexican heritage in an interview where he stated, "I'm obviously proud of where I come from, my mom being Mexican and my dad American. I've always embraced it, it's definitely unique." Auston's coach growing up, he was a man named Boris. He was a native of the Ukraine who before moving to the United States, well, he had coached hockey in Mexico, of all places. This is weird.
I'm Boris with Next Generation Hockey.
In 2005, Boris, he was not yet a resident of the United States, but he did hold a training camp in Phoenix for young hockey players, and one of whom, of course, it was Auston. Now, parents of the players, they were so impressed with Boris's training tactics that upon returning to Mexico, well, Brian Matthews contacted him and convinced him to coach for his son full-time. Now, because Boris spoke very little English, and well, he didn't have a place to stay, well, the Matthews family took him in for 2 years. Yeah, a Soviet hockey coach shacked up with an American family? That sounds more like a sitcom to me. Or like a really inspiring sports movie. The story gets even more interesting. Coach Boris and Auston, well, they became the best of buds, with Auston coming to refer to him as Uncle Boris. In 2012, he was drafted 57th overall by the Everett Silvertips, and this was in the 2012 Western Hockey League. But he decided to play for the Junior United States Hockey League instead. From here, he played for the US national team for 2 years in a row. Auston's skill level excelled that of his teammates, and after his second season, he decided to go a much different route than expected, well, for a rookie player. He decided to go play hockey in Switzerland. Now his goal was to play on their team until he was eligible for the 2016 NHL entry draft. In order for her son to stay grounded, well, his mother spent the year there with him as he traveled throughout Europe to compete. His sister would also visit and make sure her brother kept up with his online studies. At the 2016 draft held in beautiful Buffalo, well, the moment both Auston and his family had been waiting for finally arrived. Sitting in the stands, Auston heard his name called to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he was drafted first round overall.
Toronto proud to announce from Zurich, Men's League Switzerland, from US program, Auston Matthews.
Auston has credited the support of his family in helping him reach his goals of being drafted into the show. In an interview, he stated, "There was one point in time I wanted to quit hockey when I was a lot younger. My dad always told me that if I wanted to quit hockey today and play chess or do whatever, he would support me and do anything to help me be successful. That's just the way he was." He made his NHL debut in October of 2016, and at his first game, he repaid his parents for their years of support by kicking some serious ass. 19-year-old Auston, he dominated the opening game, scoring 4 goals against the Ottawa Senators.
Puck goes around, Matthews scores! He gets free, shoots, scores! Puck out in front, Matthews scores! A hat trick! Moving in, works it across in front, he scores! Matthews!
Auston had broken new ground. It was the first time that a modern NHL player had scored 4 goals in his debut. Not only were the fans going crazy, but also Auston's parents who were watching in the stands. While on the Jumbotron, you could see Auston's mother, who had tears in her eyes. Oh, I just got shivers. As for the rest of the story, well, you know the story because this is before they're famous. My name's Mike McCrudden. We make all sorts of celebrity bios here for you on this channel, so you gotta let us know who you want me to document next. How about another NHL player? We haven't done a hockey player in 3 years, so I'm interested to see how this does. You let me know who's next. Of course, I'm a good old Toronto boy, and you'll probably see me at a Leafs game talking to you, Auston. So be sure to take home a W for your boy McCrudden. All right, see you guys in another video. Boom! I'll be the guy going, boom!